Thank you, Marco. My name is Matteo. I come from sort of a Genesis community called SpaghetETH, which sort of helped these huge communities to emerge. And I'm really, really grateful for the invitation to be here today, because Urbe is like exponentially growing in all senses. And I think this is not just because of their skill set, is because they are friends, and they've been friends for a long time, and they work together, and they know how to work together. And I guess this is also why Akasha realized this potential beyond the skill set, and decided to support. So having said that, I would love just to give a couple of news from SpaghetETH. Last year we haven't done any conference because there were so many Italian conferences around, so we are focusing more on bringing web-free education to other industries. Last year we did it at Linecheck for music technology. This year will be probably the Salone del Risparmio, or we're possibly talking about Lucca Comics. There will be a SciFi grant, so we will put down the money for a few grants to run the SciFi cohort soon. The web radio is soon to be released, so the first decentralized web radio ever is about to start in Italy, and many, many, many other news. And also, Livio is here as ETHNA community, but is also here as Yomi. Yomi is a very strong dev house based in Catania. We are working a lot with them to implement our membership cards on-chain stuff, so it's a real pleasure to be working with these people. Okay, before further ado, I would like, first of all, to start introducing the different communities, and I'm really sorry for Raffaele for not being here, but I would like to ask first, what are the values and missions of each? We kind of know already, so maybe start with, yeah, you can start, Livio.
Hi, I'm Livio. I'm the founder of ETHNA. ETHNA is the first Sicilian community that was founded in 2024, last year, in Sicily, in Catania. ETHNA, born as a play of words between Ethereum and ETHNA, the volcano that is in our city, and is founded with the goal to improve the knowledge and the awareness of the Web3 in a country that is the Sicily, that is very distant from the rest of the world.
Hello everybody, I'm Raffaele, one of the co-founder of the NapulETH community, the Ethereum community in Naples. And yeah, I think we have, in Italy at least, we have a shared vision for our communities, which is the one of course, spreading awareness, as Livio said, onboarding people, but especially, Livio can confirm this, for the south of Italy, which is a very, like, let's say, not depressed, but there are less opportunities, let's say so. So we want to empower people, bringing the Web3 opportunities and advantages to them. So yeah, our vision is basically this one. And you can imagine that it's a bit like building in a desert, where there are like just a few oases spread all around, not connected to each other, and they don't talk to each other, they don't know that each other exists. So our vision is to bridge them all together, create the ecosystem, the infrastructure, make them talk to each other, either if they are companies, either they are developers, either they are just like passionate people, like visionaries, whatever. So we want to like connect them, we want to make them talk to each other to create this new environment, this new ecosystem, and those new opportunities for everyone in our area.
Yeah. Maybe I can mention for Raffaele. Raffaele is part of Refi Sicilia and also part of Ethereum Bologna. because he lives in Bologna, I guess, and also Alessandro couldn't make it here today because of family last-minute issues. But Ethereum Bologna is also another chapter that SpaghetETH just assisted to start, and they just had their own community space rented this year. They're looking forward to start new projects with the university and local institutions. And also this year could be the year for ETH. So Apulia place some random placeholder around September, October for the Adriatic Web3 happenings. Let's move on. What is that you're cooking? And I know that you're very busy in your own environments, but as everyone, we are also pushing the communities sort of out of sheer will. And what is being easy after maybe the first event that you did already, and what is still something hard to work on? Don't mention money, because that will, until the day we die, that will be a problem. Yes.
That's too easy, okay. Well, we thought that our second event, which in reality will be the third, but yeah, with our community name, it's the second event, would be everything much easier, but it's kind of, you have to start from scratch again, because yeah, you have to always try to onboard new people, always try to create new bridges, and also you have to keep the bridges you already created like alive. So you have to provide them with new water, right? And what is also difficult, like the difference from the first and second event, is also to try to be a little more innovative, try to be a little more inclusive, of course, and try to expand, but not that much, because otherwise you risk to be like overdoing and losing the focus. That's what I think are the main challenges. And what else was in the question?
Something that you're finding easier to run this time after your first event. I mean, this is for Naples after the Genesis is like your third event, basically.
Yeah,
right?
basically, yeah, the third. So running, it's much more easier from our side to be organized. In the first event and second one was a bit of a, let's say, not that organized. We were like doing basically everything, everyone. So, but nowadays we are much more focused on our roles. Each of us found their way, what he likes, what is really good in doing at the organizational level. So we are much more organized, and yeah, we have like much more defined roles. So.
We are trying to organize the second event of ETHNA, but we have some difficulties. I'm not talking about money. It's of course a difficult, but not the primary difficult. We have a problem because our community is very, very small. We are in the organizing group, we are almost 8 people, and it's a very small community. But we try to do our best to create a new event, and we are trying to expand it, but our idea is to organize an entire week of events, and we want to involve other communities such as Urbe, because in our idea is to create an event where Urbe can teach, organize an Urbe campus in Sicily, and then the main event, such as we did last year. And so the difficulty is about the people. We are very few people, and we have just this difficult.
But is there something easier after the first chapter? I remember you went on TV, on regional TV after ETHNA.
I went?
You were on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
on the regional.
I think easier
So
is
the word has been spreading. There
yeah,
are
the
more
word has
people
been spreading,
interested.
but during the last year we had some difficulties to involve people in our. We organize small events, such one time every 2 months, but the participation is not so good.
Okay, so challenges and what is easier. For us, I think that the challenge is always also to involve people, but for us, I think that the main challenge here in Rome is to involve institutions. For us, it's quite impossible to involve institutions inside of what we do. I've worked with 2.5 years in regional institutions with the city government, also Italian government. But I think that they don't move, don't have votes, or maybe money or something else. And so it's very difficult. We try to engage them in this day event, also in the Urbe Hub, whatever, everything that we are doing. And the answer is always, I don't know, skeptical. Maybe they say, oh, great job, but we are not coming, or whatever. So what's the point? So I think that how we want to address this problem is doing. Like, show them that we are doing things, that we have an impact on this territory, and that maybe sometimes they will show and say, oh, you're interesting. But no, not because we are giving them votes or whatever, but only because we are giving an impact on this territory. And what is easier, I think that for Urbe, we have gone to have completely voluntary. The first ETHNA was built by volunteers, and after the first one, we decided to structure more and more and more to build these kind of things, like the Urbe Hub, also the Urbe Village, and the other initiatives. So we are more structured now, and for us, it's easier to run all these kind of things. It's always a challenge. Because we say, okay, no, we can't do the third time only at Rome because it's too easy. So we have to put 2 weeks events before, and but it's how we do it, and hopefully we can do everything in a very good way.
I think you kind of spoiled my fourth question. Fuck. Shit, it's all right. The Italian Web3 scene is, I mean, Italy's history is always a history of connubiums, waves of ideologies, but also strong competitiveness. Competitivity? Whatever. Friction. So there are differences between communities, and there are also uniquenesses. And so there are frictions, but there are also chances for compatibility. So how would you, I mean, I think it's all right to I mean, also there are, this panel is not full, like there's also ETH Venice, again there is ETH Milan, which is the big absent as well. And this shows a lot actually, like not making it here. So what are the frictions that you might trace in the Web3 Italian ecosystem, and maybe what opportunities come out of these differences?
I don't think there are friction between the Italian communities, except for the big accent, okay? Because okay, I don't know, but if they are absent, it's a friction. Because I think there is a great division between the communities, because Urbe is focused on dev, on hackathon. We are focused in teaching how the Web3, what the Web3 is, and NapulETH is similar to us, but with I think you have a more focus on companies or such. Yeah.
Don't spoil his
no,
answer.
No, okay. But,
panel is tits up.
So I see we have a lot of ways to cooperate without friction.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think at the moment there are friction, even though I was reflecting before with Octav from ETH Bucharest, that sometimes it feels like we are competing in an environment where there are scarce resources, and in the meaning that like all the sponsors are the same, so sometimes it feels like you might be competing in that. So I'm not sure if that would be correct to call that competition. But yeah, generally Ethereum is very focused, but now they are broadening their scope, and I'm very proud of them. I already appreciate what they're doing. They are an example for us, especially since this year we are trying to push really hard for having our first hackathon. I don't want to announce it yet, but we want to finalize it first. What else? Yeah, cooperation is totally possible. It's totally possible. We could even think about some kind of Italian umbrella. Matteo was already thinking about this project. Let's see how it goes. We can cooperate, like try to put all of the events in the same period or on the same framework. And what else? Yeah, I would say that our scope, as I was telling Livio, is a bit broader. Like we are focusing on this, connecting the several stakeholders in Web3 in our territory. So our scope is still connected to the territory, of course open to the rest of Italy and Europe, but I don't feel like there is competition at the moment.
No, also for me, it's not about competition. Maybe it's because we are really busy on what we are doing, and also I don't want to spoil you the other one, but there are limited resources to what we can do. So it's running a community, running events. It's not easy at all, and so it's. I think that we are very busy, but I don't think that there are frictions. I think that there is maybe different scope. What is Livio was saying before, that we have different scopes. We want to onboard Web3 builders, Web3 developers. We want to focus on Web3 on-chain. So like we don't accept in centralized exchange to sponsor our events, our hackathons. We are really selective to who is going to sponsor this event or who is going to participate in this event. So, and we built a brand around all this. And so in order to keep the brands alive and pure, it's difficult for us to have an interaction with everyone, because we have to understand how it is possible, how to do this, and only for the brand, only for the Urbe to preserve the Urbe.
For those in the audience that might be in their first Web3 happening, whatever, let's talk about the job spectrum of Web3, which is shifting constantly depending on the hype, the prices, the new technology everyone is excited about, and the new applications that allow you to bypass maybe more technical skills because you have cursor, you have just prompt it, and you have applications, decentralized application, etc. What do you think the Web3 has at its core as a skill set? Also, within running the communities, what are the skill set that you reckoned emerging as a constant, despite all the hypes, despite the prices, despite the new technologies, etc.?
Okay, I think it's a mix of an old kind of skill set that you would still use in Web 2, and the new set of skills, which would be, I can talk about developer skill set because of course I'm a developer, so I'm more confident talking about that. And it's like, yeah, you have to get used to a new environment. Like you have to think not about the optimization of the code in meaning of reducing the time of execution, but you have to think about how to reduce gas fees, for examples, right? So you have to acquire these new tech skills, of course. I cannot talk about marketing, but I believe more or less you can carry most of the skills that you had in Web2 marketing and readapt them to this new product, which is Web3, right? And if I'm mistaken, please correct me, because I'm not a marketer. And yeah, the opportunities that are offered are really, really great, because it offers a new way of working. And for us, like especially for the southern Italy, to be able for developers to work from their own land, their own place, their own region, is so important that we really are pushing hard to make developers understand that they can stay here and they have like a job in a USA company and being paid like by working remotely from their own place, staying here, not having to go to another country to find a decent job, right? And that's very important for us, I think.
I will not speak from the developer side, because I think that there always needs for developers inside the Web3 space, and they will talk about Builders Garden after, and they will explain how it's possible to engage more developers and to bring them inside Web3 and to give them jobs. And also, it's if you want to spend your USA paycheck here in Rome is way better than do it in USA. So it's good for the Web3 developers to work from remotely for maybe USA or other companies. And actually, this is the goal of the Urbe Hub is also to engage international people. I want to speak about the other side. So we are always focused on Web3 developers, but for my experience, because I'm not a developer, I'm an event organizer, we don't care maybe too much on the organization part. So there are other skill sets. So communication, marketing, event organizing, and whatever that we need to run events, but also other initiatives that I don't think that are really valued in this industry. I think that we should give more values, because if an event can aggregate all the developers, there is someone that had to run these events. So it's not all, we have to engage developers, but we need someone that engages developers. So, so yes, I think that we have to focus more maybe in the future on this part of jobs that are maybe that are important, maybe more important than the others that we all know and that maybe all other people here aspire.
I think that the Web3 has created new skills. I'm not a developer, you know, but is changing also the Web2 space, because if we talk about marketing, the Web3 has a different way to communicate something, and we can think about the communities and the strong of the community. So Web3 creates a new way to communicate, to push products on the market, and it can change also the traditional markets if they can follow the way we work. And I think but we have a big challenge. Matteo, you know my vision about this, and Web3, we have the challenge to make this ecosystem more accessible to everyone, because it's too tech focused.
So the role of mediators,
Yeah.
which is kind of a broad scope across humanistic faculties, etc. You have already answered that, but maybe you can add something. Talking about relationships with the territory, PA, public administration, academia, do you have something to say about your own event, your own community, something to shield, something to rant about?
We are, since we made the first event, we we are talking a lot with the institution. In the first events, we hosted a representative of the regional government in Sicily, and we are still talking with university, school, and so we.
No. Yeah. I think we have the same difficulties as you guys, because talking to institutions sometimes can be a very depleting process. It requires a lot of effort. It depends a lot on the person that in that moment is your referent for that institutions. And what's funny, but not that funny, is that sometimes in the same institution there are people that they don't communicate to each other. So one politician or one representative, they make you a promise that they cannot keep simply because they were not aware that in 2 months in that place there are going to be renovation work. So you cannot use that place that was promised to you. So sometimes it's very disappointing to have this kind of relationship with them. But yeah, if you find the right person that understands this kind of innovation that we want to bring, that understands what's the value that you're going to bring to the society, sometimes they can be really receptive and they can try to go the extra mile to accommodate your requests. So yeah, that's our experience, very relative to the people you interact with. And about the university, it's a different problem because they are at the moment kind of closed in their academic program, and they are not that open to this kind of very disruptive innovation, even though we, as I was telling before, we found a connection with a very thinking forward professor, which gave us the opportunity to have a workshop inside the master program of computer engineering. So after a lot of time trying to communicate with them, finally we got ahead, and we have this connection that gave us the opportunity to talk directly to the students, to explain what is the blockchain, to have a small workshop on, it was about developing, deploying Chainlink oracles on blockchain. And yeah, so at the end, after a lot of effort and insistence with trying to get in touch with the university, finally, after a year and a half, we were kind of successful in having the opportunity to talk directly to the students.
Do you want to reiterate your? No, okay.
What was your experience with university?
With university. Yeah. Actually, with the university is we run every year some lessons for university, but it's not because we have partnered up with Sapienza. It's because we are partnered up with a professor in Sapienza that allows him to come inside and to teach the students something. And so it's always face to face. It's way easier than, because actually the institution, we always say that Web3, 1 year in Web3 is like 10 years, maybe more in the real life. And so if you want to go to the institutions, say, okay, we want to do this, and we are going to do this in 2 months, 1 year. And they say, no, it's impossible. We can't run an hackathon inside our venues for the night. I say, why? We are also paying you. why you can't do this? So I think that it's different things that goes in two different, I will say velocity, but I don't think it's the right word in English. But yeah, so it's kind of difficult because we are different things, yes.
Would you say, is that because of bureaucracy, or is that because of not being enough open to risk or open to new technologies or new?
No, I don't think that they are not open to new technologies. That maybe also they don't understand the new technology. But yeah, it's about bureaucracy, but it's public institutions that in Italy, it's particularly in Italy, they are really slow. They run in all the time in the same way. So you have to understand it. It's in the last job that I had, for being a senior, I have to work 10 years, 15 years inside. Here in Web3, you're a senior after 2 years of coding or whatever. So it's I think that is kind of different, and we hope always that something is going to change. But I think that, like I said before, I think that we have to give them before proof that we are doing something meaningful, and after they will see about us and they will interact with us.
I think that the knowledge in the university is very, very low about Web3. For example, last year I met a professor that was working on a paper about blockchain. My first question was, do you have a wallet? What's a wallet? So this is the level of knowledge.
But this is also like a quality of the patches, Italian patches. Like at ETH Venice, which was a very small boutique event, basically the university Ca' Foscari like sort of closed for the day and pushed all the students to the meetup. So we were filled with youngsters just there learning stuff. And we had free assessor of the town hall of Venice present there because they have problems. For example, they have tourists, they have too many tourists. They're trying all sorts of technological and physical way to disincentivize tourists from abusing the city. So they were there looking for answers, trying to make networks. So it depends somehow. This is also like something that maybe if Venice wakes up, then maybe Rome politician can say, actually Venice did it, so I should go and check this meetup sometime. Okay, let's go towards the end. I just wanted to iterate a little bit more on the impact agenda, if you have any. Like, of course, you are trying to educate about Web3, etc., but let's move out of the Web3 hub and let's talk about Naples, Rome, Catania. What would you say 5 years from now where you become and powerful and full of connections and network? What would you work on in your city if you had the chance, if you were asked, like, hey guys, we need you to help us solving this problem? What do you think this problem would be and how would you do it?
Me? But do you mean aside of Web3 or like what impact Web3 could have in you?
As a Web3 community in a specific Italian city, you might reach a point where you're being asked to become part of a board, of a study to maybe work something out for the city itself. Would it be local markets for Naples, for example, like payments? I sent you the question before. You should have gathered.
No. Never received the questions.
I'm always checking like
problem with Web3 communication. No. Okay. Now that I think about it, yeah, I think I would focus on what I said before, like offering as many opportunities as possible to our students, to our companies, to the companies operating on our region, because sometimes they are not even aware. Maybe they are interested in Web3, but they're not even aware that there are companies maybe 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers away that they are also looking like, but not in our area, but internationally for people that understand something of Web3 because they want to implement something. So our focus, I think, would still stay that one, because in 5 years, 5 years, sometimes it looks like a long time, and it is a long time, but if we were probably, I don't know, in London, in Berlin, in New York, in San Francisco, yeah, that's a long time. You can do a lot of stuff in that amount of time. But here, we have to go step by step. We have to grow from 0, not to 100, but we have to grow from 0 to 10 first, and then to 20. Maybe when you are already at 30, 40, the growth becomes maybe exponential, so you go faster. But at the beginning, it's a very slow process. You have to keep up, you have not to give up, and you have to be, grinding your way to the results. Otherwise, I mean...
You dodged the question very nicely. Okay, your turn.
Okay, the ETHNA as community have some goals. That the first is educate and inform. After this, we hope to use the Web3 to develop something that can be useful for the social community. Create something that can help the city growing up in a different way. It's something that we are trying to do with Digitalia, for example.
And also Refi Sicily
Or
is like a stronger...
Refi Sicily.
Yeah, exactly.
So we work together, you know, with Refi and Digitalia to create something new and useful.
So as we said before, we are like pragmatic cypherpunk. So we don't want to, I don't know, see all the problems that are here in Rome and see, okay, Web3, we have to apply Web3 to everything. So yes, in Rome there are like two main things: is waste and public transportations. And if you are going to put Web3 on top of these problems, I don't think that we are going to see something better in the few years. I think that's what we can do here in Rome. Is okay. Rome is a touristic place and institutional place. So there are a lot of books that talks about Rome that is not an industrial city. It's not a really good city for innovation. But I think that the power of Rome for innovation is actually very clear, because in a city where everything works, where everything is always the same, when the public transportation arrives every time in the same time at the same minute, I think it's boring, and also is not good for keep your brain. Yes. Is not to keep your brain active, and I think that it's a perfect place to innovate, because you see problems and you try to address problems, but in your own life. So the bus is not coming on time. I need to find a solution. My app has a problem. I need to find a solution. Don't have to stuck with problems. So what we want to address is to bring more innovation in this city and to show everyone that Rome is a very good innovation for a city for innovation, and also you can see incredible things from the past, like the Colosseum. Come on.
Right, bravo, bravo. Like John Lennon said, there are no problems, only solutions. Yeah, right. Okay, let's wrap up with last question, and is a big one. Ethereum Foundation. The Ethereum Foundation, there has been some social renting, but we all know that there has been these, how do they call it? No, the sort of, not delocation. Someone can help me? Grants? Grants? No. It's sort of delegation. No, it's something else. Sorry, I just started like a microdosing time, and anyway, will come to mind. No, it's the process where all the teams in the Ethereum Foundation are getting out of the Ethereum Foundation and getting self-funded, basically.
Externally outsourcing.
Yeah, let's call it outsourcing, fine for now. So how do you see the future of this ecosystem as it's planned to get rid of its big hat? So Ethereum always had this big hat of the Ethereum Foundation, which progressively will be no more. And it's causing some disruption here and there. Also, we're not talking about prices here, but we saw the recent market, which brought some coins up, but Ether not so much. And also there are these big layer 2s, which at a certain point they will be so big to say, actually, we are so big, we can be layer 1s. So do you think that where is the value of still calling it like Ethereum values and Ethereum communities? Why is that, and why will it be persistent? Because, yeah, we are here for a reason. So.
Okay, about the foundation, yeah, I heard that there is a bit of like chit-chatting going on, and not always like peaceful on the major social media. But I'm not too much deep into that. I heard that there is some strategic movement, some strategic reorganization. But once I was talking to somebody very close to the foundation, and he was telling me, because I was asking him, like, why there is the Ethereum Foundation? What's its role? What's the point of having it? And he was telling me that the foundation has the role to bring Ethereum in a way that it can stand on its own feet. It's totally autonomous, and Ethereum at some point doesn't need the foundation anymore. When this happens, then the foundation will cease to exist.
Subtraction is the word.
Okay, subtraction. So, I believe that this is like we are in the middle of this process where the foundation slowly adjusts itself toward this final goal, this final moment in which Ethereum will be fully autonomous and able to stand on its own feet and walk by itself without no more need for the foundation to support it or to adjust the path. That's what I heard and I believe.
Livio?
I don't know, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, so I'm joking. I'm not very deep into this question, but I think that the Ethereum ecosystem is mature enough to let everything do its course.
Are you asking GPT?
Huh? No, I write.
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
So about, I think that is an approach, okay? As Raffaele was saying, the Ethereum Foundation is like, is not talking with institutions, is not like, is giving like the power to the community and all the ecosystem. I think that this approach, maybe we can say that is not the best one, or maybe it's not the most important one, but why we are doing this, why there is all this movement against or around the Ethereum Foundation, because the Ethereum went up like Bitcoin or the other coins. So I think that's now is not so important, because as we said also every time in Urbe, we don't care about prices. We care only about building, and if holder coin or if the ecosystem goes up, it's because someone is building it. So if the Ethereum Foundation support the builders and support all the ecosystem, for me is fair enough, and for me is also interesting to this approach. So giving the power to decentralize the power, giving the opportunity to other communities to run events, protocols and everything, and don't push them, don't try to be over them. I think that is really interesting. Maybe it will not work, maybe it will work, we will see. But now we are talking about this only because the prices didn't went up for like a Bitcoin or other coins. So I don't think that we have to talk about this now or in this kind of situation.
Okay, call to action, something that's happening for Catania, ETHNA, for NapulETH. Call to action for Ethereum, we're already in action right here. But something fresh to call people upon? Yes.
Okay.
What was that? Start micro doesn't.
That's a call to action. Does it work, by the way?
I fucked up the first week. I didn't read the manual, and I had it was bad. Yeah, it's fine. My
I can tell you what we are cooking. We are cooking our conference that will be on the 17th to 19th of July. We are totally focused onto that, and we are pushing also, as I was telling before, to have an hackathon together. I will ask, of course, for suggestions from our friends from Ethereum that they are very experienced into it. And so, but still not announcing it, not finalized yet. And also we want to add some art, because we love art, we love culture, and aside of the conference, there will most probably be a modern art show connected somehow to Web3. Still finalizing, so not yet announced. And yes, the hope is that in 5 years, connecting to the previous question that I dodged, we will be all together, like in a place where Web3 will be like totally understood by people, and yeah, more and more people will be working in it.
We are working on the organization of the second edition. We are at the starting point, so don't have a lot of things to say, but we are also working expand the argument we will talk about. So I think we will introduce some tracks about energy grid peer-to-peer and something related to AI. But the event, it will be in September.
Okay,
don't have the days, but
so we don't squeeze like you're in July.
Yeah.
Fuck. So okay, we are going. SpaghetETH is also running its third issue of the Zine. We are looking for contributors who will get paid for articles. Follow us and we have some leftover numbers. Mihai just showed me that the physical prints of Bitcoin magazines are now worth quite a lot. The physical. So I used to say that maybe in 10 years it's 10 euros. Now it's going to be maybe 200 euros. So these are the last numbers. You're welcome to have a nice inauguration. Thanks, Urbe.